Hello, I'm Jim Pelletier with the Institute of Internal Auditors. We're here today with Jeanette Franzel, PCAOB board member, to talk a little bit about emerging issues at the PCAOB. Jeanette, there's a lot going on at PCAOB right now, a lot of new issues that you're dealing with and a lot of issues that have been around for a bit. Can you tell us kind of what are the hot things going on right now at PCAOB?
Well, a lot of the firms are taking a lot of steps to remediate deficiencies that we've found over the past few years. And as you know, commonly cited deficiencies include the areas of revenue, internal control over financial reporting, and many others. But we're seeing a very concentrated effort on the part of firms to remediate those deficiencies. And in the meantime, I think internal audit and the CFOs and others are seeing the impact and sometimes feeling the effects.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen a lot with findings on revenue recognition, I think is a big area, and we had Audit Alert 12 that came out recently. Do you see other changes coming from that, or how do you see that evolving, I guess?
Well, the revenue recognition alert was really a reminder to auditors about what the standards are and points out some of the deficiencies that we found. So there are no new requirements in that practice alert. However, with some of our previous practice alerts, we've seen that auditors have really changed what they were doing in practice. So even though the practice alert is simply a reminder of the standards and a description of some of the pitfalls, we might see some changes out there in audit practice as auditors step back and look at how they might need to do things differently.
Absolutely. Were there any areas specifically within revenue recognition that you saw needed to be addressed more?
Well, I would say it depends on the company, but overall it's across the board. So all the way, starting with assessing risk and evaluating internal controls, all the way to obtaining sufficient audit evidence. One of the frequent problems that we find is internal controls are not tested sufficiently, but then the auditor goes ahead and relies on those controls as if they were effective when determining the amount of substantive testing that's done. And that's kind of a double jeopardy situation. And so that's a very serious matter. But again, the deficiencies are across the board. They're different in every company.
So I want to talk a little bit about Alert 11 on internal controls over financial reporting. There's been a lot of conversations recently about that impact between what external auditors need to test and where they can rely upon internal auditors. Give us the sense from you on your thoughts on that issue.
Sure. We put that practice alert out last October, 2013, actually 2 Octobers ago, and it has had a big impact on how auditors are testing internal controls. Even though we have been reporting deficiencies for several years running, I think with the issuance of that alert, the audit firms have really stepped back and taken a look at how they're auditing internal controls. So that's part one, looking at the testing overall, which many times does involve internal audit. And then part two is we had something in that alert about auditors' use of internal audit and how external auditors need to pay attention to how they're doing that and to do it properly. So I think internal audit might be feeling the effects on both sides there.